but I think I'm not convinced that we would be anything like seriously more.
Yeah.
David's a lovely guy.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the whoop whoop uploads, baby. And for those of you returnees, you ain't got the minerals. You ain't got the minerals. Yeah, yeah. Alright, listen. I'm giving you guys, we're giving you guys obviously Too Hot to Handle. We're giving you David and Chloe. It's been interesting watching them as well. I think what I really liked about them too is the fact that I knew this was never going to work, right? Because David was never convinced, right? He was always on sex. He was always on crud. The very first episode when Sharon came to him and said, obviously, you know, she's chosen him. He felt excited about the fact that it was going to be a sexual encounter because she's quite sexual, right? Or so she said. And so obviously when they're having their dinner, you know, they exchange a little, you know, strawberry kiss thing. But the thing that was interesting is that when she made a joke about one night stands or whatever, yeah. He couldn't really react properly, right? He didn't react like, yeah, I'm down for it. No, as soon as she was forward with the sex, he felt a certain way, and this is the whole point. Sometimes some guys are just not on that crud, right? They don't like it when a girl is on that same crud that he's on, yeah, because it's about power and control. It's not about necessarily just the pleasure. It's about the power to take. You see, a lot of this sleeping with girls on the first night, you know, intentionally ignoring expectations and stuff like that. All of that is power. It's about I want. And it's not about, and this is why we say that men oftentimes, when it comes to sex, are very body focused, meaning that it's about what I want in the transaction. Whereas women are very more personal focused, which is that your feelings and my feelings are considered in this encounter. So what you see with David is this now. In this particular episode, they're having a little banter and jokes in the morning or whatever, and they mention about how horny both of them are.
Let loose. Balance it out.
Let loose a little bit, you know? It's like...
Yeah. I'm feeling like a rebel.
I could feel you were horny last night.
Right? And she was telling about how she's a rebel, da-da-da-da-da. So now, she's created an image, by talking this way, she's created an image that she's on things. Bearing in mind last night as well, the hot, you know, strawberry little thing they did as well. Like, she's showing that she's on things, yeah? And this is what's driving him. He's on things. If you're on things, I'm on things to do things. You understand? If you're things. Do you get me? And so, that was what was driving him. Never the emotional connection. Never the mental intellect. Never to physical touch, really. None of those things. It was all about sex. Yeah? I've got nothing to offer you in the mind right now. I've only got to offer you my penis. And that's the truth, right, with David and Chloe. And so, what we see is this. When I say about Chloe talking very brashly, what Chloe wants from that is the desire, is a power from making the man want her, right? Because there's a, you know, like if those of you have had sex anyway, there's a good feeling about making someone climax, right? When you make them climax, yeah, you feel powerful. Why? Because you did that, right? You have the power to make them feel empowered. So you feel powered, right? So in the same way that it's like here we see with Chloe is that if she can make him desire her, it's also power. It makes you feel good that I can make you desire me by talking the way I'm doing and being the way I am, right? And we're going to see this later on. So, and you know, before she even got to David, she was really on things with Harry before. Remember? Harry was her first chosen choice, right? Until he rejected her and went to Francesca. And I'm saying this is not a game of just sex. This is a game of hearts. People pretending that they cover up their heart as if their heart don't matter. What they're doing is ignoring the pain that they're feeling, and eventually it will break down. You know, if you've got a bruised ankle or whatever, or a muscle injury, you can keep running on it if you want, but eventually it's going to catch up with you, and you're going to feel it. And when it does, it's going to be such a powerful twinge, you can't do nothing. Do you understand? So, we see that obviously when Chloe and him are doing the shibari, at the end, that she's like, does it feel, is it turning you on, right? And
It
Does
definitely...
it turn you on or not?
not massively.
Oh, David, that is...
And he responds by saying, not that much. It's not that much turning him on, right? Now, when she said, obviously, is it turning you on? Watch the intense desire and glare in her eyes, right? She's trying to just really just will him into this thing. So her eyes are narrowing, you know, she's got a little smile on her face, like she's feeling gassed right now, you understand? Because what she wants is for him to desire her, to have this desire for her, right? Because I really believe that she's not as desired, I really believe that she's not as desired as she thinks she is. No, I shouldn't say that. I feel like she feels like she's not as desired as she wants to be. That's what I want to say. And so therefore now she's chasing desire from men. You understand? That's the impression I'm getting, right? Alright, cool. So when obviously then he says, he's not really feeling it, it's not really his kind of thing. He's not really feeling that kind of thing, right? Then you see her face considerably change, right? And reason why is this. When you get intimate, even on a sexual level, even when you open yourself up vulnerably on a sexual level, like bonding, yeah? And the person is not feeling it, and the way he's not feeling it, it's like, he's not on things already. It's a rejection of you. Because it's a level of intimacy that you're opening up to somebody. So if they reject that area of you, they reject you. Do you see the points? This is why when you got real intimacy with people, and not just the shallow stuff, it can get really painful. That's why when we fall in love with people and we expose ourselves in different areas of intimacy, when we break up, it feels like our whole world's been torn apart. Because it has. Because once I open the door to you to enter, you started moving in. Now you've got to start moving everything out. Do you understand? And that takes a long time. We've built up a lot of junk in there. Do you feel me? And so and then, you know, she says something which is really interesting. She said, obviously, she wants to understand deeper connection, but
I'm trying to understand a deeper connection, and if there is one, and if there isn't, what is there between us?
She wants to understand a deeper connection with David, right? But the point is, she's been too open about sex already. How do you become open-minded in the emotional connection when you've not initiated open conversations, but you've opened up conversation about sex, and you've told him how horny you are, and how much of a rebel you are, how much you want to break the rules? You know what I'm saying? Then how do you expect to open up that connection? How are you going to do that? Do you feel me? That's the whole point. Like, when we do these things, it creates an impression, and then the impression, the person has a choice of how they're going to take that impression and what they're going to do with it.
Can you take this off now?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Something tells me...
And the way that his tone was when he said, obviously, now you can take this off, it's because he didn't like it. And the reason why he doesn't like it, he doesn't like being controlled. He doesn't like to be in a place where he surrenders. He doesn't like to be in a place where he has to trust somebody else. I believe he's also got trust issues. I believe also David's got trust issues. Don't be fooled. I believe he's got trust issues. But the main thing is he's just not he don't fancy Chloe like that. Yeah, he thinks that she's a bit fit, but it's not his type of girl that he would settle with. It's a kind of girl that he'd bang. Let's be honest. And and women, don't get confused. Guys put girls in categories. There's girls we meet we know definitely would have sex with. There's girls that we meet that we definitely want wifey. There's girls that we meet that we think to ourselves, see what happens. Maybe she's borderline friend. Do you understand? So he put her definitely in I would have sex with her, but he's never wifing her. She's not got the qualities that he needs to make that a wife. And then if you watch, as she's taken, actually, I was saying, as they were standing up, there was a big gap between the two of them now. And then she was like, "Oh yeah, sorry then." And then she literally run her tongue through her mouth, because she was hurt. She was hurt, bruv. Which is what leads her to have the conversation at the very end in the hammock. Like, she was hurt by what he did, and she didn't like what he did, and that drew her to the point where she felt to herself, "Hold on a minute. If I'm looking for a deeper connection here, this ain't it." But I thought you was all about the sex thing. But now you're looking for a deeper connection. So this makes us realize that, okay, cool. We can be sexual beings, but we cannot be without the other connections. We cannot be out the emotional, the spiritual, the mental, the experiential intimacies. We can't be without those things. It's a necessity to build up a loving relationship. And then, David then shot himself in the foot by saying,
Rounder, you're beautiful as well. And it's just like, we both had sexual chemistry and sexual tension. Do you know what I mean?
He shot himself in the foot by saying, he admitted that there was sexual tension and sexual chemistry. And then Chloe's face dropped at that point because she's like, "So we don't have anything else?" And the truth is, you don't. That's the whole point. A lot of you on the show do not have that. Yeah? And I hope it learns a lesson. A lot of you are just coasting on, your nuts as you usually do. Because in the world, you can get away with it. Because you can duck off, come back whenever you want, meet each other one night and then leave each other and never see each other again. Here, you got to stay in the whole island for the whole time. So now, you see that even the men are struggling. Because what's happening is now, you can't do where you stay. You do one girl dirty, all the girls are going to be against you. You got nowhere to go. Do you understand? So deep it. Alright, listen. Hey, think before you do, you know. Don't do before you think. Or you should be thinking about what you got to do. I appreciate you guys. Stay locked. Stay loaded.